Hey guys, it's Lori. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. So, have you had any spiritual interactions, spirit connections? Maybe you've seen signs like the angelic signs, the numbers, the license plates, the songs on the radio, the chills, the feeling, warmth sometimes, whatever. Um, have you had dreams where maybe a loved one that has crossed over came through? Um, Maybe you've smelled a really strong one. I think our sense of smell is extremely strong, especially when it relates to memory. So a lot of times, a spirit will come through with smell. Um, and people feel a certain way. Sometimes in dreams and stuff, someone will hug you, and you know the feel of people in your lives. Like people feel different. Do you know what I mean? They have a certain smell, a certain feel. Um, and there's definitely a difference between a dream and a visit, and maybe a visit to another place. Maybe you visit another place, whatever. But what about spiritual interaction on the negative side? Today's only Tuesday, and this week alone, I have had four people reach out to me with different scenarios with spiritual attack or spiritual interaction, not necessarily in a good way. We can be under spiritual attack. In fact, we are. Um, I know a lot of people just say, "Well, just be positive." I just read something today, a comment of a girl that she was like, "Well, it's all about your perspective and your perception, and if you run into anything evil, it's just a shadow of you, and don't worry about it." And I call BS on that. I used to believe that way, to some degree when I was younger. If you've never heard my testimony, maybe someday I'll put it out there. It's just, there's so many twists and turns, it would take 10-hour video. Um, but there was a time when I studied all different kinds of religions. I studied all kinds of different faith systems. I studied the New Age movement really deeply. I mean, I was involved in a community where it was very eclectic. And I'm here to call BS on that. That's not true. I don't care if your perception is, everything's wonderful. First of all, bad shit happens in this physical realm. I don't care if you're the most positive person in the world. Bad shit sometimes happens, and it doesn't mean it's your fault. Do we, through soul wounds and different um, areas of spiritual and emotional healing, and attract certain scenarios into our life, certain people into our life? Is it sometimes a shadow of ourselves? Is it sometimes something we're supposed to learn? Is it our own negative energy? Sometimes is it a soul wound where we're actually calling something into our lives that validates the soul wound, and it's this whole long thing? Absolutely, yes. But on the other hand of that, on the other side of that, you could be the most positive person in the world. Say affirmations all the time. You're always, at a high vibration. You live in forgiveness. You're doing everything, quote unquote, right. And bad shit happens in this world. As long as you're in the physical realm, you are not immune. Okay? We're not robots. This physical realm is not a perfect realm, it's a fallen realm, and yes, there are negative spirits, like it or not. Why do I seem so passionate about this? Is because that belief system may sound all good and innocent. You might be like, why is that offensive to you? It's offensive to me because it blames the victim. So let's say you have somebody deeply into the New Age movement or deeply into this philosophy, this thought process. They are really working hard to keep their vibration high, blah, 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 everything, living in forgiveness, really doing really well. Don't believe in evil. Don't, and just, by the way, just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It actually sets you up to think like that, because then here comes bad shit. Something happens, somebody's going to screw you over, somebody dies, somebody takes their own life, you get in a bad car accident, somebody robs you, you get raped, or a child you love gets sick or is a victim of pedophilia. I could go on and on and on. The evils of this world are everywhere. And then what do you say? Well, it must be my fault. I must have done something wrong. And you know what? People that teach that kind of philosophy, they may be kind to your face, but they're thinking in their head, yeah, yeah, girl, yeah, man, you did something wrong. You called this onto yourself. So, no, I don't buy into that BS. This is what I buy into. We are to keep our vibration high. We are to live in forgiveness. We are to think positive. We are to capture every negative thought and take it captive. Speak a positive word. We are to pull cords. We are to live helping each other. We are to follow the correct spiritual path and, along our journey, and allow things to flow and manifest things into our life, knowing that despite our efforts, we live in a fallen world. So then when something negative does happen, we can have faith that God is real and that evil is real and that God is more powerful than evil, and that we can have peace throughout the negative situation. And we can say, instead of saying, well, it must be my fault, I got to be more positive. I've got cancer, therefore it must be me not letting go of something. Granted, maybe you did pull something by not letting go of something, but you are blaming the victim that way. What good does that do? This is not what this video was supposed to be about. This video is supposed to be about what to do in the case of like a intentional spiritual attack. Like if somebody puts something out there against you, whether on purpose, intentionally, like through like a spell casting, or even through like really strong negative thought. That's what it's supposed to be about. So I'm just going to cover just a bleep of that because I already took too much time. I guess that's what was supposed to come out. So let's put it this way, okay? Be careful with other people. People put on masks, they put on facades. Use discernment. And I'm not saying stay away from people. No, we're supposed to interact with people. We're supposed to, love all we can. But pay attention. Really listen to people. That's always a good way to see the truth. And even then, sometimes you won't. But really put on your listening ears. Learn to communicate and learn how to discover another person's communication. Protect yourself before you go out. I'm not saying be paranoid. Absolutely don't be paranoid. But stand in faith, walk by faith and not by sight, which will ask for the gift of discernment, and then you'll be able to discern the spirits. And sometimes even then you can be fooled. I mean, we live in a fallen world, we're fallen people, we're not perfect. But just know this, okay? People can, like, some people will purposely leave something in your home or give you something, and it could be something as simple as an everyday thing, I'm not sure what to think of, but they could say, or they could give you a little gift, a card, lighter, a simple little thing, whatever. And they could leave it with you or give it to you as a gift, and that, and they're doing it, if this is done on purpose, intentionally, they could be creating a point of entry. A point of entry that allows them to spiritually connect to you easier. And some people do that to cause you harm. Some people may do that not even to cause you harm, but to like keep you around, a quote unquote like love spell or whatever. Whatever a spell is, whatever magic is, it's a manipulation of energy. When it becomes dark is when you're manipulating people. When you're, manipulating energy, we all do that with manifesting, right? Whether we want to or not. We all do that with different decisions we make. But if you are intentionally manipulating energy in order to manipulate people or situations out of greed, out of selfishness, out of selfish motives, then it becomes dark, right? And some people, let's face it, we all know, we watch the news and you'll see that there are some people that are dark people anyway. So one mistake we all tend to make in this, not even just in the spiritual realm, but just in general, is that we tend to believe or want to believe that people think the way we do. that goes into, I mean, that whole thought process can affect you in many areas at work and love, not even the spiritual realm, not even the magic realm. But yeah, this stuff is real. So somebody could create a point of entry that way. If they're purposely doing things, there's other things they can do. Um, they can have you ingest something. I mean, there's a lot of things that um, people use, like their own blood or bodily fluids, to get a point of entry. Um, I know people say I sound prudish when I say this, but be careful who you are intimate with. Be careful who you're sexually active with. Sex is the closest, physically, the closest two human beings can connect with each other. I mean, you actually interlocked with each other, or any kind of sexual contact, right? But especially, I mean, you're interlocked with each other, right? But any kind of sexual contact is a really powerful way to connect and throw out cords and actually manipulate somebody energetically. Um, there's all different ways that people do it. But does it happen? Absolutely, it happens. Like I said, 4 times, and it's only Tuesday. Has the veil thinned? Yes, a lot of people are having a lot of spiritual activity. And one of the things I ask people when they start telling me, things are flying around the house, blah, 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 I always do like a quick interview first to find out, okay, first of all, have you invited them in? Negative entities, positive entities for that matter, like angels and stuff, are not going to act without your permission or your invitation. Okay? And that invitation may be unknown to you. You may be allowing them in, answering the door without realizing it. I just gave a couple examples. Having sex with somebody and maybe it's not even on purpose. If they've got like these dark energies attached to them, you've just inherited their dark energies by having sex with them. It's not just their, sexual history on the physical level. You've just inherited their sexual history on a spiritual level, and whatever's. Not only could they purposely have more access to you that way, unintentionally, negative entities could have access to you that way. So please be careful. There are reasons why people say be careful, more than just in this physical realm. And we all know the problems that can be caused in the physical realm, but now we get the spiritual realm and, of course, emotional realm to worry about too. That's just one way though. Then, like I was talking about, maybe through an item or something. Also, telepathically, because people, when they connect, these like picture like cords shooting out and connecting with each other, and they got like fish hooks on the end. Not really, but energetically, and they connect people. Another way that people, and that's all intentional stuff. And yes, there really are people out there that do that. There really are. I know I talked to some people about this, and they say, yeah, I believe it, but they don't really think. It's like when something actually personally happens with them, they're like, whoa, I didn't really think that happened. I knew it did, but then again, on the other hand, I didn't really know it did. Another point of access, certain drugs, all drugs carry their own energy with them, their own forces, some dark forces with them. Medicinal, like any mind altering substance carries with it a dark energy. Um, there are some, like herbs and natural supplements, that I would not see as dark. Maybe they have like a energy, but I wouldn't see it as dark. Um, but certain drugs absolutely carry alcohol too. Alcohol carries. Why do you think they call it spirits, right? Um, and have you ever seen somebody change when they're under the influence of alcohol or certain drugs? Some more than others, though. Like I said, I mean, I would say, drugs carry negative entities, but there are certain drugs that carry actual, I don't care if I sound crazy, actual demonic energies. I've seen it happen with certain drugs. And you can say, yeah, it's mind altering, and that's why it's more than that. It's more than that. it's on a spiritual level. It's as if you've opened, I've seen it with my own eyes. It's as if you've opened the door and physically said, "Come on in, demons. Come on in, Bel. Come on in, Moloch. Come on in, Satan." It's amazing, actually. And it absolutely changes people. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've ever either done the drugs yourself or um, know somebody closely related that has some drugs more than others. So that's another thing to be, careful of. And not only doing the drugs yourself, but if you happen to be involved in that environment, say somebody you really love is inviting people over and you got all this stuff going on around you, even if you're not doing the drugs, you're under stress because you're around all that stuff, you're dealing with addiction, whatever, and so you're under stress, so you're more vulnerable, and they could get in and start messing with you too. It's another thing. I know people think if they're standing in faith, they're immune to this. I beg to differ. You're not immune. In fact, put it this way: why would dark energies go after um, somebody that's dark anyway? They don't have to fight them. They already got them. They don't have to fight them. Why do they have to fight them? They're just playing with them. With people that are walking in faith, they want to fight them. They hate all of us, but they want to fight them, right? So don't think you're immune to it. God is stronger, and you're defended. I mean, you're protected, but you're not immune. So don't believe that either. So many different myths out there. Um, Sometimes, stuff starts happening like hauntings and stuff like that. Other times it's like your brain fog. It can start as simple little things. Um, you can't think anymore, you lose your motivation, you don't want to pray, you're angry. Have you ever felt like all of a sudden angry all the time? Complete depression, lack of motivation. These are all symptoms. And I'm not saying that everybody who's depressed, it's a spirit thing. That's not what I'm saying. Please understand me. But these are just some things that can happen. Family strife when there wasn't before. Somebody's personality just like changes. Like I said, complete depression. Or how about like somebody who was not before all of a sudden is promiscuous like crazy? So any major change in behavior could be a symptom. Another way that people can send stuff at you, sorry about the shadows in the back, you can see how I'm holding my phone. Like sometimes you don't even intentionally send it out. Like somebody may be so emotionally charged and send something out there and actually like send it out there. So you got to be careful. That's not the same kind of chaos though as somebody who intentionally does it. If it's unintentional, the only way that you're going to get affected by it is if you are also feeling negative towards that person. Like say for instance, my sister one time, she was really upset with her soon to be ex-husband, and she said one day, like, she was really hurting and upset and angry, and she's like, oh, she was jealous of his tractor he bought, and she was like, oh, I hope he just dies on that tractor one day. And I was like, don't say that, take it back. And she's like, oh, you're so silly with that energy stuff. It was less than 48 hours later, I talked to him, and he's like, you wouldn't believe what happened. I was on my tractor and something happened and I fell off and the thing catapulted towards me and it came like within less than an inch of killing me. I'm like, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I jumped out of the way. I'm fine, but I don't know what the heck happened. I called my sister and I'm like, you believe me now? So stuff like that can happen. But see, now, and there's other stories I could tell you, like certain things like that. But if you're living in forgiveness and you're not feeling those same negative feelings towards that person, you've got a protective shield up. The best way to put a protective shield up is to send love and light and sincerely wish happiness and the best to especially those people that are your enemies. Not only will it keep you protected, but it'll also help you to heal a lot quicker. Um, these are just some of the signs and symptoms. One lady wrote today, well, just stay calm and just be like, no, I know it's just a shadow of me, and I'm just going to stay calm and it's going to go away. You know what? That might work first, second, third time because those energies want you to believe exactly that they're not dangerous. It's just inside of you. They're all about lies, manipulation, steal, kill, and destroy. That's what they're out to do. So what do you need to do? You need to stand strong in faith. Yes, you have to keep your vibration high. You have to stand strong in faith. You have to arm yourself with the truth. Know the truth. How can you use it as a weapon if you don't know it? And connect with other people that are also standing in faith, because you know what, when you're going through that, sometimes your faith can get shaky. You don't beat yourself up. Go find somebody with strong faith that can stand by you in faith, enough faith for both of you, and then you will get stronger. Even those of us who walk by faith and believe with everything that we are have weak moments. You're human. Connect with others of faith. I've gone on long enough. This isn't even what I was supposed to talk about, but thanks for listening to me. If you need an appointment, if you need a clearing, if on your body, on your place, if you want to pull cords, any kind of energy work like that, if you need prayer, if you'd like an appointment, one-on-one private consultation by phone, video chat, or even in person. If you want to do something individually, if you want to do a group gallery, whatever the case, reach out to me. Even if you just, you have some questions, reach out to me. Passagesgroupinfo@gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of me. Passagesgroupinfo@gmail.com. Or you could go to facebook.com/graced, GRACED, by BYHIM1, Graced by Him 1, or facebook.com/higher ground 2. Those are both me. And I also have Faith Walk is another page, and that's more, it's a little bit different, but I might even start a YouTube channel with Faith Walk. But yeah, reach out, okay? I do monthly subscriptions, I do one-on-ones, we can do a consultation, we can talk. One thing I can tell you is, yes, I have to charge because this is my job. I don't charge for everything I do. Not everything is billable, but if you need a billable service and you're like, damn, I don't have enough money for that, talk to me, okay? We'll work it out. All right, guys, I hope you have a great night, and just keep the faith. Believe, gratitude, forgiveness. Keep that vibration high and create the life that you want. I'll talk to you guys soon.